Welcome back. You heard from Colonel Leslie Gorman earlier in the program about how the Army's modernization effort is impacting her work on electromagnetic warfare. Army leaders tell me digital modernization is affecting almost every aspect of their work. Brigadier General Robert Mikish is Deputy Program Executive Officer for Enterprise Information Systems for the Army. At TechNet Augusta, he tells me his PEO is well on its way to digital modernization.
We actually started a digital transformation in the spring of 2023. And what that meant for us is to, really starting to pivot from a waterfall way of delivering software for the Army into Agile. And that meant a lot of things, a lot of change for our organization. First and foremost, it started with what practices we have, getting used to Agile practices, learning a whole new language, and really changing our mindset. Even our culture, and then I think the last part of it was our partnerships. And what I mean by that is we're used to working with industry partners on delivering software and the like, but it's now incorporating our functional or business owners within the Army, and lastly, users, and making them part of the Agile process. That was a change. That's, as anyone would say about digital transformation, culture is the hardest thing to change, and that was a challenge, and we continue to work at that today. But we've really put a concerted effort into adopting Agile across the entire portfolio, making a lot of changes of our software programs into the software pathway now, and reestablishing some key relationships. The first one is how we, the government, communicate and contract with the software original equipment manufacturers, the OEMs. We learned a lesson, and that was we wanted to have the OEMs on our team on a direct contract, so that these commercial software solutions we're providing or procuring, that we can actually use them to the best of their ability, and we get advisement by the OEMs to do that with our systems integrators. That has been absolutely wonderful. And then, as you're tracking most recently, big changes in how we do contracting. So we're really kind of spurring ahead, embracing commercial solutions offerings and what the Army Contracting Command out of Aberdeen Proving Grounds has done. So we're really excited about where that's going. And we've kind of dipped our toe in the waters of using CSOs and some OTAs now with how we do software.
You talked about a couple of cultural issues there, and it strikes me you're probably thinking about it from two different ways. You're thinking about it internally in the Army, and also thinking about it in the way that you interact with the vendors. What are some of the best practices that you've found to solve that cultural dilemma, either internally or in your collaboration with industry?
I'll start with internally. What we found is when we knew we needed to learn Agile practices, we actually asked our functionals to join us at the class. We actually went through the formal training together, and during small breaks and how humans interact, it was amazing that we found that as we learned together coming outside, that really helped a lot with the cultural changes, because it was new language to all of us. That's a practice we're trying to continue moving forward. So internally, that really helped. A lot of lunch and learns, a lot of times to kind of break bread in a way and just hear about these new things and bring lots of different industry partners in to share their lessons learned, case studies, if you will. That's been very helpful. With industry, we did similar things. We asked them to work on their training. We had a lot of back and forth communications with them, and then really tried to be over communicate what we were hoping to get out of Agile. And my boss, the PEO, would say to us, hey, it is often we really want to practice Agile, not just in word only, but actually in the ceremonies that we do. So that's been helpful to kind of think to make the change.
That's been one of the biggest challenges, I think, for government organizations, military or civilian, is, are you really doing Agile, or are you talking about Agile? And I wonder how you've stayed connected to the end users who you're delivering the software to, your mission partners within the Army, to make sure that they know that you're iterating, and to make sure that they believe that you're actually iterating.
It's absolutely critical that we have that connective tissue, and that we're showing that we're delivering incremental software. It doesn't have to be complete. That's the part of Agile. A minimum viable product is just that. It's not done yet. We asked two ways to do that. One was we asked the functional people to join our team, the actual sprint teams, as product owners. They embraced that, and it was an amazing moment to watch senior non-commissioned officers back briefing Army senior leaders on their area, the sprint teams. The second part of it is we went to the users, and we actually asked to have Army units identified as early adopters for the software, working directly with them, not only in having coders actually code and do the iterative back and forth, Doing so, we can see if the software is connecting with the users and get instant feedback, and then within 2 week sprint cycles, be able to make a change. And through the retrospectives, part of the Agile process, you get that immediate feedback from the users in that retrospective of whether you're hitting the mark.
Is it also important then to go back and say, you told us you wanted this, or you wanted this to not do this anymore, and here's how we've done that, so that they know that their feedback matters to you?
Being transparent is important. And I think we have to have an honest two-way conversation about that. Sometimes he asked me to do that. Well, maybe they did, but when they actually used it in the intended environment, we had a great example of going up into Vermont in the snow with the infantry, and maybe it didn't work the way they want. So that's okay. That's failing early, and it's okay to iterate on that and come back and make another try. So I do believe that's a really important part of what we're doing.
When you come to a show like this and you collaborate with industry at a place like this, what is a good outcome for you to go back to base and say, we're better, we're going to be better because we fill in the blank?
Yeah. I think conferences like this give us a chance in one area, especially with use of time. I can meet so many different industry partners and see what they're working on. And then they listen, it's two-way listening, right? I'm hearing what they're working on and how they're pushing the envelope of technology and innovation. And they're listening to me in terms of the requirements, and they can meet, it's a networking piece. So really meeting who within my organization is doing industry days. When are we going to have those? So timing of it. And then set expectations. Hey, when you come see me, or if you're going to write a white paper, these are the types of things I'm looking for. I think I know I feel that way, that we'll have a better outcome the next time we meet.
We had the CIO of the Army on FedGov Today a couple of weeks back, Mr. Garciga, and one of the things that he and I talked about was a software acquisition pathway. And he said, well, we were kind of already doing that before the Secretary of Defense put that memo out. I imagine you saw that up close and personal, being where you are, that, yeah, when that came out, we're already on the right path. We're already on the right track. Is that a fair observation on my part?
Absolutely. We were a little ahead of the game on that. And right, it's nice to be ahead of the game every once in a while. We were adapting to that pathway. Was a pretty easy shift for us because we were trying to do it already. Our leadership was already, my leadership came from industry, and they were teaching us the Agile ways. So the Agile ways absolutely adopt that. And it allows us to stop some of the paper bureaucracy of it. And also there's an expectation in that pathway that you iterate, that you deliver things incrementally, that you seek a user agreement. That's a wonderful part of it. It's a piece of paper that some may frown upon. I don't frown upon it. I say, this is our contract with each other. Yeah. We're going to have a two-way dialogue here. You're going to be a participant in this. And that's really worked well as we go through the process.
You can read more about PEO EIS on today's show page at fedgovtoday.com.